Take a look at how the Asian markets have started off for trade today, and it's a fairly mixed picture. Although most of the indices have reversed their losses from the initial ticks. The Hang Seng still below the flat line, as is the Taiwanese index, but the Nikkei in Japan, which was trading lower by around 0.5%, has reversed those losses now and is trading in the green. The Kospi in South Korea also is trading in the green. The bigger takeaway is the fact that the Dow futures and the US futures in general have reversed losses. They were down around 50 to 100 points at the start, but now are trading with gains of 70 to 80 points currently, and that is after the US House of Representatives passed the bill to end the longest shutdown in history. But of course, we'll talk about that in greater detail over the course of the show. To pull up the GIFT Nifty and give you an idea of how our own markets are likely to start off. Well, after almost 400 points gains in the last 3 sessions, it's only par for the course that you're expecting a slightly subdued start for today's session, which also happens to be the weekly expiry of the Sensex contracts. That's the, to set you up for today's trade, our team of researchers is here with the trade setup, the stocks that are likely to be in the news, and of course, the setup on the F&O side of things as well. Firstly, Gaurav joins in to get all the market cues that we need to keep an eye out for today. Gaurav, good morning. What are some of the important things that you're watching out for today?
Well, as when we look at Nifty actually ended up with 0.7% gain in the last trading session. In fact, it is on a winning streak, but when we look at the levels today, it can remain choppy in the range of around 25,800 to 26,000. And two major things that we should be keeping an eye out on. First is that inflation print. Now that came in at around 0.25%. It is actually lowest, and when we look at the inflation trend, it has been lower than 4% mark that RBI had guided for the last 9 months. So that is something that we will be watching out for, specifically for the banking stocks, because this will also leave some headroom for speculation of rate cuts. And second is that Union Cabinet, now they have approved around 25,000 crores of outlay for export promotion mission, and at the same time they have also approved 20,000 crores of additional credit guarantee for eligible exporters and MSMEs, specifically in the areas of textile, leather, gems and jewelry. So definitely let's watch out on these sectors. On the trade side, our sources told us that President Putin will be visiting India on 5th and 6th December. So let's see if that is something that we should be focusing on, because on the trade side, there are a lot of things which are happening. Another factor that we should be watching out for is the Bihar election exit poll. Now, some of the exit polls suggest that there is a narrow lead for NDA. So that is something that also will affect the market. Remember, tomorrow is the day of counting. So let's wait for that as well. When we look at the stock specifically, yesterday we saw Sirma, Max Financial Services, Federal Bank, Mahindra and Mahindra, all of these stocks were at all-time high levels. So let's watch out on these stocks as well, if they will remain or sustain this momentum. And lastly, when we look at the US market, recently we got that the House has now passed the bill to end the nation's biggest government shutdown after 43 days. So let's also watch out for the cues from US markets, because this will also put things in motion now. When we look at Asian markets, we are getting some kind of mixed reviews, and as GIFT Nifty shows, we are seeing some kind of 20 to 30 points of decline. So definitely could be a choppy day, but better days are ahead is what we can say from the markets now.
Gaurav, thank you for that update. Over to Vinny now. List out the stocks that should be on your radar today. Vinny, good morning. It's a long list, but what do you have for us?
Hi, Urmas. Good morning. A long list. But before I start with earnings, let's just keep an eye out on Vedanta, the demerger case that has come in. The NCLT concluded its hearing. They've reserved their judgment on the government plea objecting to Vedanta demerger. And there are some concerns that they've raised, so maybe a slight bit of a negative move that we could see for Vedanta. But as of now, the judgment has been reserved. The next, and let's start with the earnings then. Tata Steel is what we'll keep an eye out on. We're expecting a positive move there. The net profits of the company have seen a sharp jump up. Revenues up by 9%. Even the operational performance has been strong. EBITDA margins at 15.2% versus 11.4%. Good numbers, beating the street estimate, and even EBITDA per ton is better than what one was expecting. So positive move there. Senco Gold, we are seeing a growth of around 2.4% in terms of revenues. Margins have seen a very good improvement of around 6.9% versus 3.5% last year. Improvement in terms of profitability. So muted growth, but that was below what others in the industry are doing. EBITDA and margin have seen a sharp jump up because of that low base there. Honasa Consumers, good set of numbers again coming in from the company in Q2. 16% growth in terms of revenues. EBITDA gain this time versus a loss last year. And profits also there. We're seeing a profit this time of 39 crores versus a loss last year of 18.5 crores. K&R Construction, weak set of numbers that's coming from the company. Revenues down by around 67%. EBITDA is down by 77% and margins at 29% versus versus 44% approximately last year. GNFC, a good set of numbers from the company, good in terms of operational performance as well as in terms of top line growth as well. AG Infra Engineering, profits of the company down by around 35%. Revenues have remained muted at 0.2% and margins have seen a slight bit of a contraction. So red is what we could watch out for here. Data patterns, that's another one. Good numbers that is coming from the company, but margins are impacted mainly by the significantly higher material cost that the company has seen. Deepak Nitrite, weak set of numbers here as well. Revenues down 6.4%, profits down sharply by around 38%, and margin seeing a contraction of around more than 300 basis points. 10.7% is what the margin has come in at, as well as Cohance Life Science, weak numbers there as well. Revenues down, profits down for the company. Nazara Tech, on the other hand, good set of numbers from the company, despite the real money gaming one-time impairment loss that they've taken there. Good numbers from the company.
Vinny, thank you for that long list of stocks that should be on your radar. And mind you, it's a long list of stocks for the earnings season today as well. Lastly, Sudarshan joins in with cues from the FNO space. Sudarshan, good morning. You're up almost 400 points on the Nifty now in the last 3 sessions. But does the FNO data indicate a move towards 26,000?
So it's been a good week. So for the last 3 days, we have been gaining. Will it be 4th straight day? That's a key question. So I won't be surprised if there is a minor profit booking at these levels. But in the broader sense, upward trajectory remains intact and range for Nifty remains between 25,600 to 26,000. Also on the global cues front, long pending bill to end the government shutdown is passed by US House. Now, as far as flows are concerned, FIs remain on the sell side. But as we saw yesterday, the quantum of selling figure has come down in both cash as well as derivative market. In the cash market, we have seen FIs selling almost 1,800 crore. And DIs, as usual, continue to remain on the buy side. Yesterday also, they have bought more than 5,000 crore. And in the index futures too, FIs have sold nearly 500 crore. Now, their longs exposure has reduced to 12% versus average of around 15 to 16% that we saw last week. And shorts addition also, just it was a minor addition of around 800. But interesting data coming from the options front. On the call side, 25,900 and 26,000 call. Both these call options were healthy, have seen a huge increase in the open interest. At the same time, premium has increased towards upside. In the contrary, on the put side, we have seen a fall in the premium. So it tells you that upward trajectory remains intact and hitting the 26,000 looks inevitable. Now coming to the support, 25,700 would be the support for Nifty. Resistance remains around 26,000. For Nifty back, 57,800 is the key level. That would be the support. Resistance remains near record high, that is 58,600. Lastly, one stock remains in the band, that is SAIL. And apart from that, Asian Paints. What are earnings that company has reported? And it has seen fresh long. But due to strong earnings by Asian Paints, another stock has seen fresh shorts. That is Grasim. So keep an eye on that. And lastly, KPIT Tech has been seeing short covering.
Oh, very interesting, Asian Paints and their impact on the peer companies as well. Sudarshan, thank you for that.